tell me about your property investment. Is that normal residential houses you'd
Yeah,
bought before?
yeah, it is. Unfortunately, had it been had it been commercial, I think I would have been. Uh, there's a little bit more there to learn in the commercial space. I think every man and his dog knows a little about the residential stuff, and I don't know a lot about the commercial stuff. So I thought for a small 6-figure investment, I could learn a little bit more about the commercial side. So I did.
And when you said unfortunately residential, did you have a bad experience in residential, or what was the driving factor towards commercial this time?
No, I just think that there's probably some, if you get into the right commercial returns, I think the returns can be a lot more favourable.
Yeah. And like you mean the growth or the actual cash
Yeah.
returns?
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Either in the immediate yield on the spot, the cash return, or the capital improvement over a 5-year period or a 10-year period.
I'm not sure if you go much around the pages and stuff on Facebook, but I was scrolling somewhere the other day, and it was one of the data sort of groups that I'm in for property data, and it had a snapshot of, I think it was the past 20 years for commercial versus residential, and I thought commercial did really well, but it did exceptionally well in this snapshot. It just blew my mind.
Skyscrapers.
Oh.
It's skyscrapers.
Yeah.
You might have a couple of Westfield malls with residential.
Yeah.
But the commercial's been skyscrapers.
And it was really shocking to see it on the graph, which is it's exactly what you're talking about. You're not the first person I've talked to who's done residential or doing and then looking at it as commercial as another option because, well, for me personally, it's the ongoing cash flow. I mean, when we started residential, 20-something years ago in Queensland, if you didn't get 5% return, which was like, say, $500,000 property, $500 a week rent, you didn't look at it. But those yields now, those cash flow yields are extraordinarily low in those southeast corner and let alone Melbourne and Sydney, right? And it's horrible.
You can't get that anywhere.
No.
Well, sorry. It's very difficult to find those returns.
That's exactly right. So when you flip over to commercial and you're looking at, say, a 6% or, between 5, depending on what it is, 5 and 7, right? Depending what it is. That's hugely different, and just to be able to afford the investment. So kudos to you, Victor. I think you're on the right track there, but yeah.
And I think that's some of the well-positioned concern from me as an investor, saying I just want to get this money back into another investment as soon as possible.
Yeah,
because that's all. There's, let's say it does return 37% at the end of the 3-year period. That's still 12% year on year.
Yeah,
which you can't. You're not going to match that in residential in many places unless you're purchasing the $100,000 and $200,000 and $300,000 places in the back end of Australia somewhere.
Yeah,
which is still doable.
Which is doable. Yeah,
which is more risk, right? Because then there's a lot less people there to rent it, and then you don't know what type of people are going to be out there. And typically speaking, it's blue collar workers, and there's, I think society says that there's risk that they're going to bust the walls down. But, I just think it's...
The other issue with that, Victor, as I tell everyone, is that even those super cheap properties, and look, I used to buy super cheap ones, so I totally, get what you're saying. But the problem I used to have was that a hot water system costs the same on something that rented at $250 a week back in the day as something that rents at $750 a week, And as a percentage of rent, it's hugely different.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I prefer to rent where I am.
Yes.
I like to buy investments, and I've never lived in a property that I own.
So you're a full-on rent-vestor.
I'm a rent-vestor. And in fact, I've got properties in Queensland that I've purchased the land, had them built brand new.
Oh, yeah.
2014, 13, 14 and 16. And all within a couple of kilometres of Chermside.
Oh, yes.
The Banyo, Nudgee and Chermside.
They would have done great.
Yep, yeah, I think so. They were. I think that the total build for those was probably just over 600 for each of them.
Yes.
4-bedroom places on more than 600 square meter blocks. So they're typical properties in Queensland, and like they're beautiful homes. I've never seen one of them, and I don't ever care to set my eyes on any of them. I don't care. It's
Mate,
not that.
hands off
It's
investor.
just investment. I don't. I've got no. I don't know what they look like now. I don't have it. I leave it with the property agent to manage. They used to be brand new properties. Well, they're 10, 12, 13 years old now.
Sure.
And I've been to Brisbane plenty of times. In fact, the airport lands right next to them. I still don't go over and see them. I've got no interest.
Well, actually, a question on that, Victor. You got those 3 properties, right? Now they would have grown. They probably doubled or whatever they've done in that time, right? At what point what are they doing for you in your portfolio? Are you saying, well, when rents get to a certain point, I'm okay. When values at a certain point, or if I need to exit that, or the maintenance gets too high, how do you judge when to keep or get rid of that property?
Oh, I had the Olympics not been in Brisbane in 32,
Yes.
they would have been long gone.
Yeah. Yep. It's a big
They
driver,
would
isn't
have.
it?
Oh, it's a yeah. There's going to be. I believe there's going to be some infrastructure that there's going to be train lines between the Gold Coast and Brisbane and all around. I think Brisbane City itself. There's going to be infrastructure for better roading, water, electricity. I think it's just going to improve.
Yeah.
Which will hopefully. But then I don't know how much further up the prices are going to go. I'm not sure. But for me, it nearly makes sense to let's sell one of them for 1.2 and find 300,000 dollar properties in the sticks of Australia somewhere that are still returning the same amount of positive rent that I can get anywhere else.
Yeah, so sort of reposition your value in the market to somewhere else.
Well, then I get 5 to 7% yield on 4 properties as opposed to a 4% yield on one.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
That would sort of be my mathematical brain.
What drives you to that? So if I said to you today, Victor, go and assess your portfolio and make a call. Are you keeping 1, 2, or 3 of these, and what are you going to do? Like, what would be the driver for you to do that?
If the if the contracts for those properties were easier to separate because they're with an ex-domestic partner, I believe that we would have sold all 3.
Yep. Okay.
But I think there's agitation between myself and the ex-partner over the property, so we'll go, well, bugger it. Let's just leave those there and let's just buy elsewhere, which is alone, which is what we have been doing.
Yeah. Life gets in the way. It's a bit annoying sometimes, the old life. It's in the way of your investments.
Oh, geez. And then, of course, I mean, I rent in Sydney, and the place that I rent, like in Sydney terms, it's massive.
Okay.
It might be 130 square meters.
Yeah.
But in the rest of Australia, it's a shoebox.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. 3 bedrooms to myself. It's top floor, faces north, secure car park underneath, large balcony, fully carpeted. It's got everything that it's got aspects of the property which every property in Queensland will have. Right?
Yeah, except it's in Sydney, mate.
Well, yes, that's right. And I pay more for this place than the brand new property which was built in Nudgee in 2014,
Yeah, it's
which is
crazy, isn't it?
4 times the size.
Yeah. Yeah, but that just proves the whole, the values in the land comment, right? I mean, those properties are in the suburbs of Brisbane versus, where you're living now in Sydney. I mean, there's just the land value difference per square metre is phenomenal. But, I mean, to hear your story about being a full-on rent investor, I mean, I think it's very encouraging to others And I mean, you've achieved well, right? I mean, this is good, and especially as I said before, you're not alone on the whole residential versus commercial thoughts and movements in your investment portfolio, because people see where it's at.
Oh, gee. Yes, well, some people see. I'm happy with only some people seeing, because then it still gets value there.
That's a good
I'm,
point.
I'm, I'm, o- I'm okay with scarcity. I think scarcity drives value.
I agree. I agree.
But like I said, every man and their dog know about well that everyone's got different thoughts on their investment portfolio from a residential perspective, and mine is just a
Most people know residential though, Victor. So even if you talk to people about commercial, they don't gravitate to it because they're not familiar with it. But yeah, I think your points are very sound there.
I think you'd be surprised about the amount of people who either don't know about residential or are too scared to take, who are so risk averse that all they do is wait for the right time.
Yeah.
And I remind them that I could show them graveyards full of people who thought that they had enough time. Graveyards full of them.
Mate, you sound like a salesman, Victor. You're selling this property investment stuff pretty well. You're doing good. Thank you.
I think it's any investment. I think it just invest. You know, don't wait for the right time. Otherwise, you just end up in the cemetery with everyone else who thought that they had enough time too.
Mate, that's
Just
a good point.
just get it going. Just get it. I'm dead certain there'll be people they'll be on their deathbed like, oh geez, I wish I'd taken that risk.
Yeah. No,
It's too late now.
it is too. It's too late when you're in the ground, Victor. Mate,
It's too late.
I appreciate you calling up. I'm going to.
I appreciate your time too.
Yeah, let me. I'm going to get some other information to you off the call. Just give me a couple of days to compile something in terms of the dates and what have you. But mate, thank you for being open about your your portfolio and your rent vesting journey. I've actually really enjoyed the discussion, mate. Really appreciate you calling.
Yes. So have I. And I don't mean to come across brash or uh, confrontational, but I do that as a job. So I'm very happy in confrontation. I'm very comfortable.
That's all right, mate. I'm in property. There's always confrontation, so it's all good, mate. I
Yes.
appreciate it,
Thank you for your time.
mate. Thanks, Victor.